weird hot Turkish candy, Japanese sushi candy, and gravy candy. These are the 10 weirdest candies in the world. Part 3. Number 10. Turkish Peber. Have you ever tried a candy so hot that your eyes watered and you started chugging down water? If yes, how'd you like to rehash that experience? If no, that's something you might want to try, right? Meet the Turkish Peber, a candy with all the hotness in the world. It makes hot tamales sound sweet. How else are you supposed to enjoy candy if it doesn't try to burn your mouth? Where's the adventure and intrigue in that? The Turkish Peber is the candy your mom warned you about. It's too much risk trying it all. There have been incidents of people experiencing mouth burns after eating this candy. What's weird is that the candy makers still make it, and it's flying off the shelves. People don't care about what goes into their mouths these days. If something so strange could leave injuries in your mouth, shouldn't that be your cue to not eat it anymore? Think about what it does to your body after eating. That's a scary thought. If Human Torch had a candy line, it would be the Turkish Peber. Number 9. Poppin' Cookin' Happy Sushi. How would you describe candy? Perhaps something small or large, but compact still. Maybe sweet or sour, or somewhere in between, right? Someone must have forgotten to send Japan the email for the candy meeting because they made something else. Introducing the Poppin' Cookin' Happy Sushi. That name alone is more of a mouthful than anything in the bag. However, this candy, more like a candy set, isn't bad. Once you get past the weird part where you have to make sushi, it starts to feel a little better. So everything in the bag is basically a recipe for sushi. Yes, the candy you buy is actually sushi. But to be fair, it's written on the bag, so you can't be surprised if you already got it. There's some rice in it, roe, seaweed, and tuna. All you have to do is mix the candy sachets with some water to get these ingredients. The cooking part is real if you still don't get it. We'd likely buy this candy if only to watch the weird transformation into bits of sushi that is more candy than food. Number 8. Gravy candy. Remember gravy? That thick sauce we collect as the meat cooks the drizzle on salads and steaks. If you don't already know, gravy is the fat and juices that spill out as the meat cooks. So they're only kind of cool from a distance. It's not something you want to taste or drink like soup. So tell me, why did someone think calling a candy gravy candy was a good idea? Right now, the only thing I can think about is gravy oozing out of a chocolate turkey or something. It's weird to picture the candy as anything but fat and meat juice. Anyway, aside from the name, the candy is actually pretty decent. The flavor combination is beautiful. We recommend this candy if you don't think about real gravy too much. Just don't try bringing it to the Thanksgiving meal table. If you think that these were weird, now we're gonna take a look at a weird combo. A candy from France and some berries that will blow your tongue away. Number 7. Shrimps and bananas. Oh, you know how we always talk about things that go well together, like butter and toast or ranch and salad. What about strawberries and cream, or ketchup and pretty much everything in the world? Well, what if we told you that there are also things that don't go together, like a slap in your face, or your pinky toe in the corner of your dresser, or a fart in a stuffy subway car, and all the other great examples? Even with all these, nothing prepared you for the horror of imagining a shrimp and banana combo. Worse still, why is it in a candy? May as well serve us meatloaf on warm ice cream, because why are we having seafood with fruit? While we can only hope that the candy maker made a mistake, the candies are extremely popular in the United Kingdom. For some reason, it just flies off the shelves faster than ever. Apparently the shrimp has a raspberry flavor, because we all know that a good shrimp meal tastes like strawberry ripoff. The more you know about this candy, the weirder it becomes. Number 6. Candied or sugared flowers. Do you go around giving your loved ones flowers as a token of your appreciation? How sad. Do you plan to plant flowers around your home to beautify the environment? Pfft, get a life. Do you buy flower seeds to plant in your garden as a hobby? Too bad. Apparently France knows something the rest of the world doesn't know. Candied or sugared flowers. All these years we've been using flowers wrong. Just buying roses to give to someone or putting them in vases and leaving them to die. Oh, that's just sad. What we should be doing instead is eating them like candy. You've got candy if you got a bunch of edible flowers and toss a truckload of sugar on them. Who knew it was so simple to be a creator of something? Not me. In France, the most common form of these candies is the sugared violets. You can also make other variants with hibiscus and rose flowers. We bet the thorns taste just as good too. Now you can offer your loved ones a flower that they can smell and eat. Isn't that the most beautiful thing in the world? Number 5. Miracle berries. Miracle berries sound like something you'd get from that weird corner store that no one patronizes. So while it's not exactly candy, it has a unique ability that can be both weird and wonderful. What is it, you ask? How would you like to have every food you eat taste like candy? Wouldn't it be wonderful if your chicken tasted like chocolate and your salads tasted like sour candy? Miracle berries are a bunch of dried berries stuffed in a box. Thankfully, the berries are all natural, but they can affect how your tongue tastes food for 30 to 90 minutes after eating. While that sounds like a great idea to taste new things for a while, that time frame is just too long. Imagine waiting for half an hour to almost 2 hours to get your sense of taste back together. Now, you don't even know the burger you ordered is any good because it tastes like a candy cane. The miracle berries claim to work best with spicy or sour foods, which is interesting. For instance, when you bite into a lemon, you taste lemonade instead. And hot sauce tastes like hot donut glaze instead. So there's no better way to satisfy your sweet tooth without actually eating any of the bad stuff. You might want to serve this at your party just so you can mess with your friends. Imagine all the fun you'd have with them thinking that your food's great, no matter that you're a lousy cook. Number 4, chocolate Scrabble. If there's anything that we've learned from how popular some games are, people love word games. People just like fixing word problems that don't involve math, guessing words, filling in the blanks, or Scrabble. In addition, people also love chocolates. There are so many types of chocolate to show just how much people love it. The makers of chocolate Scrabble seem to know about these things because they combined Scrabble and chocolate to make the biggest game and snack of the century. What makes this candy weird is the same thing that makes it awesome. It's a candy in the form of a game. Or if you prefer it this way, a game in the form of candy. Sure, you can't play this Scrabble in the summer, but at least you can eat the tiles that you couldn't get onto the board. So I'm looking at you, Q, X, and Z. After having this candy, I doubt I'll ever look at regular Scrabble the same way again. Forgive me if you find me gnawing at some tiles occasionally. Starting now, things get serious. It's now time to look at the weirdest vegetable candy, candies that look like UFOs, and some lemon chili powder. Number 3, salty tomato candy. Here is another one from Japan that you won't forget in a hurry. The candy makers there have to be the funniest lot because they keep coming up with the weirdest candy flavors and combinations. As the name says, this candy is made of salt and tomatoes. That's almost half the recipe of regular tomato stew. So what else is in the bag? Some spaghetti and meatballs? A pack of fries, maybe? Of course, some people love to bite into raw tomatoes and pretend they taste good. But that's not always the case. For the most part, tomatoes are often slightly sour. So throwing some salt on that can't just make it better now, can it? Either Japanese candy makers aren't getting the memo, or we're the ones not invited to the meeting. Number 2, satellite wafers. Oh, great! Another reason for your Uncle Terry to give another lecture on the time aliens caught and held him for 3 days. This candy comes all the way from Belgium. It's shaped like a UFO. You know, those cup and saucer looking things that aliens fly in because they don't know how to build regular planes? The idea of this candy is simple. Make the thinnest wafers in the history of the world. Shape them into UFOs, stuff them completely with candy beads and powdered sugar. Talk about selling a truckload of sugar in a tiny sack. At this rate, one tiny wafer might give you enough sugar rush to last the whole year. Now on to the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1, Pica Lemon. Remember when you ate some ground pepper because you thought it was candy? That wasn't you? Well, don't sweat it. You can also experience the burn. Meet the Pica Lemon candy from Mexico. Some spicy lemon chili powder sold in tiny sachets. Think of it as the pixie sticks from the South. And if it sounds or tastes like seasoning, that's because it is. You see, this candy is also sold as seasoning to sprinkle on fruits like watermelon and salads. Also, don't forget your gravy chocolate when you try to use this candy. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.